Hello fellow do-it-yourselfers, thanks for joining in. And what this video will show is how to remove a stuck squirrel cage fan from a motor inside your furnace. And the reason I'm doing this is because my motor draws a ton of current. As you can see there, 13.5 amps. Multiply that by 120 volts, you get 1600 watts of heat going into your air conditioning. Not too bad in the winter because, all heat is good in the winter. But this is killing me in the summertime. I think it's adding an extra $100 if I run the blower motor continuously, which I like to do because it cleans out the air. It filters the air, circulates through the house better. I like the background noise. And anyway, the long-term plan here is to get a electronically commutated motor as opposed to this PCM, I think it's called PSM motor, yeah. And so that'll be the next video, but I wanted to get to the motor, identify, the part number, so I knew all the characteristics, the size and everything, so I could match it up to get a better, more efficient motor. Anyway, here we go. I ended up buying a puller. The link will be in the description on the puller to get that fan housing off, and also on the cutoff tool from Harbor Freights. Here we go. Thanks for watching. Okay, here's the plan to get this blower motor out of here. Disconnect the wires, which will mean there's one on the heat sensor here. There's a connector right back in there. Of course, we've turned the power off. Two connectors right there. We're going to disconnect the thermostat wiring. And then there's just two screws, one here and one here. Back those out, this thing will slide out. So I'm going to get busy disconnecting those wires. Okay, everything is disconnected. Slide this guy out. There we go. Now to take it outside. Okay, here's the plan. Going to got to remove that set screw back in there. That's first thing. Next is going to use this puller. The trouble is the shaft is way too long. So got this cutoff tool from Harbor Freight. Trouble is that I can't really get too far back in there and get a straight, I want a straight cut, so the puller's got something to sit on. So I guess I'm just going to try it about here. And if that's still too long, I'll take another cut. All right. And I know this thing is a dangerous tool because this thing comes flying apart. Could be real bad. So gloves, eye protection, hearing protection, all that stuff. All right, putting on the gloves. Eye protection, hearing protection. Here we go. Could be a mess. I don't know about it, like yo. Like yo. Ta-da! All right, let that puppy cool. Yeehaw. Okay, it's cooled down. Here's the puller. Drop it on. Seems to fit pretty good. I'm going to use this wrench here and tighten up those three screws, bolts. Okay, got those three screws pretty tight. It's kind of like you want to get them as tight as you can, but you don't want to break the bolts, so it's kind of a judgment call. So just get them real firm in there, and going to start cranking this thing down. Okay, here's the setup. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I cleaned off the shaft real good and put some grease on there. And I'm going to start cranking away. Okay, after several revolutions on this thing, I never heard it like a pop. But I think it's working because the puller is not lifting away from the fan, and the big main bolt is going in. So I think it's working. Okay, I think it's working. Probably would be a good idea to have gloves on in case you slip, but seems pretty safe. Show you the technique.
Okay, well, since we're replacing the squirrel cage, that motor's got to come out for sure. So we're going to just disconnect these four, unplug everything. Of course, we've got it still pictures and video recording so we can get the wires back in the right place. It's going to have to remove the capacitor wiring, unscrew this, and that should do it. Okay, going to loosen up the belly band. Well, maybe not. There goes. Okay. Got the wiring harness disconnected. Put the screws back so I know where those goes for the ground. And I don't guess it's gonna slide. Oh, no, it's just loose. All right, gonna flip this thing around. All right, so cranking on that thing gets a little old. So, looks pretty easy right now. Oops, wrong way. Tighten it up. I think we are off of the motor. Woohoo! Houston, we have separation. All right. That thing's a lot lighter without that motor in it. Okay, so I kind of cleaned up the motor shaft. I'm gonna have to put this motor back in. I don't have my new motor yet. But look at the crud build up there. I'm gonna have to take a little, I don't know, emery cloth, sandpaper, maybe a light file to start with. Clean that puppy up, try not to get any crap down in the motor. It spins real nice. It's just a current hog. Thing's taking 13 amps when it's running. And I like to run the fan all the time. Do the math, it's killing me. All right, clean that up. All right, motor's out. And then to get the squirrel cage out, there's a screw here and a screw here, and this plate will come right out. I think I need to put the phone back on the charger. Okay, making progress. As you can see, motor's out, brackets removed, and we should be able to simply lift this guy out of here. Yes! Success! There it is. Okay, a little side-by-side comparison with the old and the new. You can tell which is which. And there's these things come in clockwise and counterclockwise. Mine's a counterclockwise. And I don't think you can just switch the motor around. There's a directional arrow on that housing, which is right here. It would indicate the thing is supposed to spin that way. And so you really just can't, I don't think, if you get the wrong, see how these blades, like here it's cupped this way, and here it's cupped this way? The way it spins, this leading edge on the outside goes that way. So mine's counterclockwise, which means it spins this way. And so how these things work, I don't know. Because the air comes in this way and out the fins, and giving this leading edge, you would think that it would bite the air and push it the other way. But I think it's got to do with the Bernoulli principle and how planes fly, where if you've got a curved surface, it kind of provides suction over the curved surface. So we'll have to do another video on that someday. Okay, so let me tell you where I'm at with this. I got the motor back in, it's tightened up. A couple of these would not tighten up, so I ended up having to put a nut on the back with a washer and a little thread lock. Don't want those coming apart. What else? So got this board sitting here. The set screw is not set yet, but I figured with that thing going across and laying flat, I was able to just kind of get everything lined up where it would like to be. Next thing to do is reattach the harness, slide it in. But another important tip is, I wish I'd have done this the first time when I put that fan on there, is anti-seize thread lubricant. Everything should either get anti-seize or thread lock. A buddy of mine once said. Anyway, let's put it together. Time for a test. Just put the lids on. Here we go. Okay, running good. I don't know why, but after I have the thermostat off for a while, it gets the incorrect temperature. It thinks it's 68 in here, and there's nowhere. It's got to be closer to 78. There's some kind of low-pass filter. It'll eventually get to where it needs to be here in a few minutes. But, man, sounds good, runs good. Claiming victory on this one. It's almost time for early 1 o'clock baseball game and lunch. So thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please give it a like. And, you might wonder, what in the world was I doing anyway? Well, that motor draws a ton of current, 13 amps. Multiply that by 120 volts. I don't know, what do you get? 1600 watts. It's just dumping it in there. So I'm going to replace that, I think they call it a PSM motor, with a ECM, electronically commutated motor. And that'll be the next video. See ya. Thanks for watching.